We're going to talk about Fred VanVleet, Freddie All-Star. The NBA fan vote came out this past week, and Fred VanVleet ranks 10th in fan vote behind LaMelo, Kyrie Irving, Derrick Rose, Tyler Hero, and Darius Garland. At least in my opinion, I think he should. I mean, the fact that Kyrie and D Rose are ahead of him is just a disgrace, and I think he should be ahead of Tyler Hero. Now, I want to start with you, Riv, because before the season, you predicted the Raptors would make the playoffs, and so far, so good. They're the 7th seed right now. They'd be in the play-in. Now, Riv, do you think Fred VanVleet is an all-star this season?
Well, considering the fact that after his last performance where he put up 24 and a quarter and turned into LeBron, and I think he didn't miss, he had his first triple-double. He's been amazing. I think he's definitely walked himself into that discussion with Garland and LaMelo for that spot. And considering the fact that his team is winning more now, because I think the problem was before his team wasn't winning. I think we talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago, and now they've creeped up into the play-in. They're 7th seed right now, or 8th seed, I believe. And they're definitely, they haven't been healthy all year. Siakam missed some time early. OG has missed some time. They've got guys that have missed some time. And I think now that everybody's back, you've seen Scotty kind of reduce more to a playmaking role. He hasn't been as aggressive at scoring because now his guys are back. Fred VanVleet has walked in and been, he's walked in, has been one of the most improved players in the league. He stepped up as a leader. He's been efficient. He's been a really good playmaker for them. And I think we talked about this earlier about Fred VanVleet's playmaking, how it's been different for them. But I think, he definitely has a case against Garland and LaMelo, because when you look at all their numbers, they're pretty much similar. But you look at the defensive end, I think Fred VanVleet is clearly the best defender out of all three of them. He's the smallest too, and he's still the best defender out of all three of them. He's willing his team. I think, LaMelo, out of Garland, LaMelo, and VanVleet, the last 6-7 games, I feel like Garland and VanVleet have upped their play. LaMelo has been kind of quiet in a sense where he hasn't been talked about enough, but Garland, also another guy, he's upped his level of play too for them tremendously. But VanVleet, I think he's definitely should get some headway to be in that all-star game. He should definitely get some acknowledgement because he's been amazing, and he's willing this team to a playoff spot right now.
The fan vote in the NBA is an absolute and complete joke. The fact that Kyrie Irving and Derrick Rose have more fan votes than Darius Garland and Fred VanVleet is an utter joke and disgrace. I mean, especially Derrick Rose. I know Kyrie hasn't played, but at least Kyrie's
Klay Thompson.
At least Kyrie is. We know he's an all-star player. I mean, Derrick Rose hasn't been that since he tore his ACL. Like this is just it's such a joke. LaMelo is going to get in off a fan vote alone, but Darius Garland and Fred VanVleet have been having better seasons than LaMelo Ball this year. It's as simple as that. Fred VanVleet versus the Jazz had 37, 10, and 10, had a triple-double. Granted, the Jazz didn't play any of their players. I mean, Mitchell was out, Gobert, Ingles, Clarkson. They didn't play anybody. But the Raptors are 19 and 17. They're the 7th seed. And you look at his stats this year, he's averaging close to 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. He's improved tremendously as a playmaker. He's shooting 44% from the field and 40% from 3. He's leading the NBA in minutes, but he's second in three-pointers made per game, only behind Steph Curry. He leads the league in deflections per game at 3.9 and averages 1.6 steals per game. So what you said was right. He's a better defender than LaMelo and Darius Garland. The numbers back it up. He's averaging more points than LaMelo and Garland, and he's at 7 assists per game. I mean, that's close to Garland. That's 1 less than LaMelo. Fred VanVleet, in my opinion, should be an all-star. This year, the Raptors have a net rating of 6.1 when VanVleet is on the floor, and a net rating of minus 12.3 when he's on the sideline. This is why I wanted the Knicks to sign him last season, because I knew he could have been our franchise point guard. He's been an all-star for the Raptors this year. They're 19 and 14 when he is playing, and the Raptors haven't been playing with fans this year, even when they've been at home, which is huge because we know those fans are passionate. But I think he should be an all-star. If I were making the pick for these guys to be an all-star, Fred VanVleet to me should be an all-star over LaMelo Ball and Darius Garland, and he'd be the first undrafted player since Ben Wallace to make the all-star game. Garland and VanVleet is closer, but I think there's a gap between VanVleet and LaMelo Ball. But because LaMelo is popular, he's gonna get in over VanVleet, unfortunately.
Shout out Ben Wallace.
What do you mean that there's a gap between VanVleet and LaMelo? I'm asking.
LaMelo is having a better statistical season. He's way better on the defensive side of the ball, and they're winning more than Charlotte.
You're saying VanVleet, you mean?
Yes. That's why there's a gap between him and LaMelo. Garland is closer because the Cavs are the 5th seeded right now, currently the 5th or 6th. So Garland is winning as well. But LaMelo, they're not even in the playoffs right now. So why
they're the number 9 seed.
Like why should he get that? Yeah, and why should he get that nod over these guys, especially when his team features Bridges, who's a 20-point per game scorer, Gordon Hayward, Rozier. Like, he has guys on his team that are helping him. It's not a one-man show. Like Fred VanVleet. It's
not a one-man show over in Toronto.
I know, 100%. But when he's off the court, they're minus 12.5, so it kind of feels like it because he is their point guard. He is the guy.
Again, I do believe VanVleet should be an all-star. That being said, we know my opinion on LaMelo Ball.
Drew, before you keep going, Joel, you said his net rating when he's on the court is what?
6.1.
And then it's off is what?
Minus 12.3.
LaMelo's at a 0.3.
0.3 when he's off the court?
When he's on.
0.3. So not even like plus.
I mean, no, sorry, plus 3. Pardon me.
Plus 3.
Yeah, so it ain't really.
See, that's exactly what I was trying to get into. You have LaMelo Ball, who leads his team in every statistical category outside of blocks. You want to talk about who means more to their team. I have to go LaMelo. Personally, you just cannot lead every team in your team in every single category and not mean the most to your squad. I agree with what you're saying about the wins. Toronto has been playing excellent ball, and a lot of that is credit to Fred VanVleet. Darius Garland's another one that they're playing excellent ball, and a lot of that is credit to Darius Garland. But I feel like the majority of the responsibility is being put on LaMelo Ball's shoulder. He has to be the leading points getter. Not that he doesn't have other options to score, which I definitely do agree with. That being said, he is the team's leader in points. He is the team leaders in rebounding because they don't have a big man. He has to be down there getting the boards, and he has some size to him, so he can just naturally rebound the basketball. He has to be one of the main facilitators, if not the primary facilitator to that offense. Fred VanVleet has been doing a great job of being a facilitator this season. That was a big question of his game, whether he's a true point guard or not. I believe he's 14th right. I believe 12th or 14th right now. I'm blanking off the top of my head. 14th right now as league leaders in assists. So he clearly can assist the basketball pretty firmly. That being said, LaMelo has more assists than he does. VanVleet has more points than LaMelo's averaging, but it's only by 1.5 points. LaMelo averages more rebounds than Fred VanVleet does. In terms of what a player means more to the squad, I have to lean LaMelo. And then on top of the fact that you mentioned it, LaMelo has the fan votes. He has the support of the fans. He's one of the most popular players in the NBA. I think that will ultimately get him over the top of VanVleet. That being said, you guys are 100% right. VanVleet has been playing excellent basketball. It shows in the statistics. It shows in the terms of how much his game impacts the team and they're winning. So you guys make valid points. I just think in terms of who means more to their squad, I lean LaMelo. Who needs to be the best player on their team in order for them to have success, I lean LaMelo. And in terms of who has the fan vote and who has the most popularity, not only do I